My name is Ryan Carter, and if there's one thing my father taught me, it's this. Never judge someone by what they drive. That lesson became unforgettable on a warm Saturday morning when a woman named Karen decided my father's old truck didn't belong in her neighborhood. The truck wasn't pretty. It was a 20-year-old pickup with faded paint, a few dents on the doors, and enough miles on it to circle the earth several times. Most people looked at it and saw junk. My father saw memories. Every scratch had a story. Every dent had a reason. To him, that truck represented a lifetime of service, sacrifice, and friendship. Unfortunately, Karen didn't care about any of that. She only cared about appearances. And before the day was over, her decision would cost her more than she could imagine. My father, James Carter, was a retired Army veteran. After serving for nearly 25 years, he had settled into a quiet life. He wasn't the type to brag about his service. In fact, most of our neighbors didn't even know he was a veteran. He preferred it that way. Every Memorial Day weekend, however, he participated in something special. A national memorial convoy. Veterans from across the country would drive together to honor fallen service members. Some rode motorcycles. Some drove classic cars. Others used trucks decorated with military memorial banners. My father's truck was one of them. For weeks, he prepared it carefully. He washed it, polished it, attached photographs of fallen friends, mounted American flags on the back, placed memorial plaques along the sides. By the time he finished, the truck looked less like a vehicle and more like a moving tribute. People often stopped to thank him. Children asked questions. Families took pictures. The convoy meant everything to him. This year was especially important. Several Gold Star families would be attending. My father had spent months helping organize the event. Thousands of people were expected to watch. Everything needed to be perfect. Then Karen arrived. Karen moved into our neighborhood 6 months earlier. From the moment she arrived, she treated the community like her personal kingdom. She complained about lawn decorations. She complained about holiday lights. She complained about children's bicycles. She complained about dogs barking. If something existed, Karen probably had a complaint about it. Most people learned to avoid her. My father simply ignored her. That bothered her more than anything. Karen liked attention. My father refused to give it to her. The morning trouble began. My father parked his truck near the community center. The convoy would depart in 2 hours. Several veterans were meeting there beforehand. My father arrived early to help set up. He locked the truck and headed inside. Everything seemed normal. At first. About 30 minutes later, Karen stepped out of her SUV. She spotted the truck immediately. Her expression twisted. She walked around it slowly, examining every detail. The flags, the banners, the photographs, the memorial signs. Instead of seeing a tribute, she saw something else. A problem. Karen pulled out her phone. She started taking pictures. Then she made a call. A very expensive call. Inside the community center, veterans shared coffee and stories. Laughter filled the room. For many of them, this weekend was the highlight of the year. It gave them a chance to reconnect, to remember old friends, to honor those who never came home. My father stood near the stage reviewing schedules. That's when my phone rang. It was one of the volunteers outside. "Ryan," he said nervously, "you need to come outside." Something in his voice felt wrong. "What happened?" "Your father's truck." I immediately stood. "What about it?" "You better see for yourself." When we reached the parking lot, my stomach dropped. The truck was gone. Only an empty parking space remained. My father stared silently. At first, nobody spoke. Nobody could process what they were seeing. Then someone noticed the tire marks. Tow truck tracks. A veteran beside us shook his head. "No way." Another veteran cursed under his breath. My father remained calm. Too calm. That usually meant he was angry. Very angry. A nearby witness approached. "Are you looking for the memorial truck?" My father nodded. The witness pointed toward Karen's house. That woman reported it. The entire group turned. Karen was standing in her driveway, watching, smiling, almost proud, as if she'd just improved the neighborhood. My father took a deep breath, then slowly walked toward her. The veterans followed. So did I. Karen crossed her arms. Can I help you? My father remained polite. Did you report my truck? Yes. Why? She looked genuinely confused. As abandoned property. The veterans exchanged stunned looks. My father blinked. Abandoned. It looked abandoned. My father glanced toward the empty parking spot. The truck had flags, memorial banners, and event permits attached. Karen shrugged. It was ugly. For several seconds nobody spoke. Even Karen's own neighbors looked horrified. Then she added the sentence that changed everything. I was doing everyone a favor. The crowd erupted. Several veterans shouted in disbelief. One elderly veteran turned away in disgust. My father raised a hand. The crowd fell silent. Then he asked one question. Do you know what those photographs were? Karen rolled her eyes. No. They were soldiers who died serving this country. The smile disappeared from her face. But only briefly. I still think the truck shouldn't have been parked there. At that moment, a black SUV turned into the parking lot. Then another. Then another. Government vehicles. Everyone looked confused. The SUVs stopped near the community center. Several officials stepped out. And the moment they realized the memorial truck was missing, their expressions changed instantly. One of them approached my father. Mr. Carter. Yes. We have a serious problem. My father nodded. I know. The official looked around. Where's the convoy vehicle? My father pointed toward Karen. Ask her. The official slowly turned. Karen suddenly looked much less confident. Because she had no idea who these people were. And she definitely had no idea why one of them was carrying paperwork from a federal veterans organization. What happened next would make headlines across the state. To be continued.